YouTubers, welcome back to the 100-acre plantation. Today we're just going to try to get this garden covered here, get the manure down and spread out without walking on the surface too much and compacting it down. And then I have a bag of Coast of Maine fertilizer. I'll show you what it looks like before I put it down. We're going to put a bag of that down and then cover this with grass because it's going to rain tonight and we don't want to get in dry like this. This top layer got really dry today because it hasn't rained in a couple days. Welcome to episode 7, and hopefully we get into some good things this week. And it's the last week of spring as well, so the seasons are changing. It's starting to get pretty warm here. I'm gonna get this garden planted this week in the next couple days. It's gonna rain the next 2 or 3 days. We're gonna be planting while that's happening. And if we have a good layer of mulch, this stuff should stay pretty wet for us. And we'll just have to water it a couple times a week. Alright, now I'm going to spread these out with a rake. I could have used an extra bag probably, but we don't want too much of this stuff. We only want a little bit of manure. We're going to be fertilizing with other stuff. So let's go get that other stuff. Alright, this is the stuff right here. It's got worm castings in it and kelp, but the worm castings is dried up, so I don't know if that even helps. But it has lobster meal and kelp and all kinds of stuff, just all kinds of stuff from the coast of Maine. So all this stuff is Maine oriented, so stuff that didn't come right off of the property is still coming locally, hopefully, for the most part. So just spread this out. Well, that should be more than enough. And we're going to put the grass down now. Like a 10-12 inch layer of hay or cut grass. It's not really hay, it's actually been mulched by a lawnmower. So we're going to put that down, and it's going to rain tonight. And then after that, the next couple days, this garden should be ready and we'll start planting this thing. And we're going to plant the other half of the wild garden as well. The potatoes growing, some couple pieces of grass I got to pick up. Using the grass cuttings, I am getting some grass coming up already, but I'm just gonna have to pick it up, and I'm just picking it up, pulling it out, and then dropping it right there and just adding to the mulch pile. So hopefully we don't have to pull too much grass this summer, but we'll see. I mean, once these plants get tall enough, we can put more mulch down, and once we have like 12 plus inches of mulch, you shouldn't get any weeds. Even grass weeds won't grow through it because there'll just be too much darkness in between the soil and where the light is. So, and it won't grow in the dried grass. So cover this with grass. Next step. All right, here's all the grass that I got from one of my neighbors down the street when he cut his field. I told him I would rake it if he would drive it over here in his pickup truck. So here it is. He did let the grass of the dandelions go to seed, so hopefully that's not a total disaster, but I don't have a single dandelion on my property. I think I found one so far, and I think I cut it down with the whippersnipper, but I like dandelions. I think they look nice, and I don't care about having like a pristine lawn. Like, I want things that grow food and that grow useful items. In the dandelion, you can eat the root, the leaf, and the flower on it. I believe, maybe not the flower, but definitely the root and the leaf. So, and dandelion is a diuretic too, and can help dry you out and help pass stuff through your body too, because it makes you go pee a lot. So I'm just gonna spread this pile out as evenly as possible with this pitchfork here across that garden, and then when it rains tonight, everything should start settling down and just be perfect. Should be perfect garden space after that, hopefully. Well, we still have a little grass left. That was the last corner. I guess I could try to spread this out, but it's getting pretty thick now, and we don't want it to be too thick when we plant. We need to give the plants time to kind of grow up above the level of the grass, you know? And then we can keep stacking it underneath it. Most of these are going to be squash plants and plants like that grow like squash do. So all that stuff, I don't know. They're going to have pretty big leaves on them, so it'll probably be pretty deep mulch. Probably won't be a problem for them. Oh man, I got like a black fly in my nostril. This is stinging. Oh, a black fly just went onto the screen. Alright, well, this garden's covered. Now we just need to wait for the rain and see what else we got to do. I guess we got to try to get the poles together for the front of this fence. Finish the front of this fence up. Mosquitoes are thick. Back to cooking over the open fire though. It's nice. Got one burger grilling old school style, and fried one up into pieces to put into tacos. Not bad. It's nice when you go to the store. Got some fresh meat. Well, it's the end of the day here. The sun already went down. I'm gonna put this fire out soon. Head into the camp. Or into the canvas tent. See y'all in the AM. Well, I don't know what morning it is. I'm gonna have to go on the calendar and look. It's like 43 or something, I don't know. I'll check later. But we're about 3 days away from thinning this thing out. And then every day we should be able to get almost a salad bowl. Or I don't know. Not a salad bowl, but, you know, a side of salad at least. Every day out of this thing. For the next couple weeks, and by the time that thing's getting plucked to death, we should have some lettuce and kale growing in the outside garden. Let's start a couple more pots though, a couple more flats of these microgreens like this in the greenhouse, and keep them going in the greenhouse because they grow pretty well in here. I have these little beetles and they're messing up some of the kale and some of the broccoli. I have to go through and like find them all and just squish them. Something. Almost lettuce time though. What a beautiful little cabin. And look what came today. UPS man brought the Bushmaster wood chipper. So it's raining today. And the bugs are crazy. But I guess I'm gonna haul this in the sled up the road and we'll stick it in the greenhouse for tonight. I'm not sure where we're gonna store this thing after we get it started and running, because once it has gas fumes coming off of it, we're not gonna be able to put it in the greenhouse. So I don't know. Once we get it set up tomorrow, I guess I'll have to worry about that and try to figure that out. But for tonight, it's gonna be in the greenhouse, and tomorrow we'll put it all together and try to get that fired up at some point. And we start laying chips down on the garden and piling up chips and just chipping up everything we've cut off this property so far. Oh man, you know, it's been 6.5 weeks of cutting on this property, so there's a lot of branches that need to be chipped up. So I gotta haul this on the sled. It's 150 pounds, so kind of like having a deer on the sled right now. Gotta haul this out back to the greenhouse. Well, just been collecting some wood, chopping some wood up. Try to dry out the tent a little. It's really wet around here right now. It's not wet inside the tent, but I'm wet from being out here. So it's nice to have the fire going. It's pretty hot in there though with the fire going, because it's not really cold out anymore. But I gotta be able to get dried up before bedtime tonight and cook some dinner and everything like that. So got the fire going in there. One of the last fires though, I actually ordered a barbecue, a little portable barbecue, which I've never bought a barbecue before. I've always cooked over an open fire, but there's definitely going to be times when I need to cook and it's going to be way too hot to run the wood stove, and it's going to be too dangerous to run the wood stove or have an open pit fire because of the wind. It gets really windy up here sometimes, and when it's really windy, I have too much grass on the property to risk having an open fire for cooking. So got a grill coming. Be grilling. Straight grilling. Man, these mosquitoes are awful right now. They're really hitting me hard. I gotta cut this log up a little bit, and then tomorrow I'm gonna put that wood chipper together, and tomorrow evening towards night, you know, well, there's still like 4 or 5 hours of sunlight, we're gonna start planting the gardens and planting all the starts. We are gonna do it kind of later in the afternoon so they don't get fried up by the sun, and hopefully by the next day they'll harden off enough. We're only gonna put out some at a time, not all of them at a time. So if I screw up the hardening, like hardening means when you take them out of the greenhouse, you need to let them get straight sunlight, not all at once. Like you need them to give them sunlight a little bit at a time. Or sometimes you'll just put it in an area, you'll put the plants in an area where they get partial sunlight for a couple days and let them harden off. But we don't really have an area like that, you know. We have the greenhouse and then we have the garden. Everything else is open to the animals for eating, so we don't really want to be hardening off plants like just outside of the greenhouse because something might get into them. But man, these bugs are killing me, so I'm gonna call it a night, eat dinner, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we have a lot going on tomorrow. Well, sunset. I never looked up what day it is. Sunset's pretty cool. These clouds were down here, but they're moving so fast in the opposite direction. And I didn't bring my phone down when it first started. Clouds are crazy up above me right now. They look nuts. That's a nice little sunset right there. Looks cool. Whoa, I need to start bringing the tripod over here for sunsets. I'll do that tomorrow. A bunch of stuff going on tomorrow, I hope. Hopefully get that wood chipper going. That'd be sweet. Oh man, sunset's crazy. The clouds just add so much craziness to them. Look at those clouds over there. Look at them. Man, they're crazy. Big view from the platform. Great sunset view. here she goes. All the clouds are pretty much moved back out of view too. Whoa. Yeah, nice sunsets up here, that's for sure. See you guys in the morning. Full of styrofoam. Alright, let's see if I can close this knife up. I guess I keep the head net on. Alright, it's morning of day 45. It's a Wednesday, and I think it's the 12th of June. Yeah, it's the 12th today. Got this Bushmaster CH8. It's the wood chipper. So I'm going to spend the next couple hours probably trying to assemble this thing. It comes in a bunch of pieces with a lot of parts. So I'm going to put it all together, and I'm going to do it in here in the greenhouse so I don't have to deal with the mosquitoes so bad, because there's a lot of them out this morning because it's all wet and still hasn't heated up. Once the sun comes out, the mosquitoes will take off. But styrofoam on top, looks like there's a lot of stuff I have to go through to even get this started. First, we'll organize all the parts that it comes with and familiarize ourselves with which parts are which, and then just follow the instructions and put her all together. Yeah. Woo. Look at this. Look at that mess. A lot of stuff. Looks pretty heavy. It says 150 pounds, but when I was pulling it on the sled last night, it didn't feel like 150 pounds. It felt like maybe 100 pounds. So, there it is. You gotta go over the whole guide and instructions. And hopefully when I bring you guys back, this will be an upright standing, fully operating wood chipper. So wish me luck, everybody. Well, it came with this cheap little weird funnel and some goggles and a bunch of nuts and bolts. Still pulling it apart, but there's some wood chips in there. Looks brand new. Doesn't look like someone used it. But there are wood chips in there, so maybe they tested out at the factory, I don't know. Pretty interesting. Definitely looks brand new though. It doesn't look like it's been used. So, gotta continue busting all this stuff out of here. It doesn't look that hard to put together though. Thing was on sale. They're usually $1,100 bucks, but it was on sale for $750, and I spent $100 on a 3-year protection plan. Looks pretty sweet though. I can get this thing whipped together. Alright, still didn't feel like 150 pounds, but trying to deadlift it off of this rack definitely was rough. But I could lift it. It was another 20-30 pounds. I wouldn't have been able to do that by myself. So they ship it with this frame, and these metal posts go into the square down there, so this thing can't move at all during shipment. So it looks like most of it's put together. We just got to put these parts on the plastic feed chute for leaves. That's the chute for large sticks and branches, and then this is the chute for leaves to go in, and shoots the leaves all out in a mulch. So almost done. Alright, just about have this thing put together. Just putting on the air filter, and then we got to fill this thing with oil first, and then fuel, and then we'll reconnect the spark plug. It told us to disconnect the spark plug while working on the machine, so there isn't an incidental turn on of the machine, which I don't even know how that could happen, but I did it. That's what it said to do. Last piece, I think, here. And there she is. And then there's a spark plug right here. A little spark plug set up. There you go, that should be on right there. I don't know how tight that needs to be. Now I just gotta fuel her up and put oil in her, and it's really important with a machine like this that as you're using it throughout the day, you're checking the oil to make sure oil isn't burning off and stuff, and oil will be mixing and burning off. So you need to keep adding oil. You need to keep this thing full of oil at all times, because that's the #1 thing that's going to ruin a small engine like this. This is only my second piece of equipment that I've ever owned myself. My first thing is my chainsaw, a steel chainsaw, which I love that thing, but I don't use it much because I think it's really dangerous, and when you're really far out in the woods, I think you should only use your chainsaw when you're absolutely have to, basically when you're cutting firewood for the season and removing really large trees, something like that. But if I don't have to use my chainsaw, I don't. Now, this thing is a beast, the Beast 3. It's the CH8, and she's gonna be a beast. We're gonna put the oil in it and put the fuel in it, and then we're gonna wheel her out to the garden and start dragging branches over. I want to drag a bunch of branches over so we can just do a big pile of them at once when we first start this thing up, to see how she runs. See if it was worth spending all this money on. I think it's gonna. There's nobody I can get wood chips from around here, and the closest person has a $150 delivery fee, plus it's gonna be like $400 and something per load. I think this thing will pay for itself over the next year, for sure. And I need the wood chips, and I have plenty of stuff on my property that needs to get cleaned up. This property hadn't been cut for 8 years, and they hadn't maintained the cut after they did it. There's tons of stuff that needs to be chipped. Alright, I'm going to put the fuel in it, and I'll see you guys over at the garden. Okay, and again, you always put the oil in first. This thing, if it runs out of gas, it's just going to stop. If it runs out of oil, it's going to blow the engine and ruin your whole time. Alright, so let's get this fueled up and start it up. Alright, we got it set up where we're going to try to get this thing started. They provided these goggles, but I have some construction goggles I'm going to wear. They recommend you wear these, and they recommend you wear a pair of leather gloves too when feeding the material in, because it can kind of grab it from you and rip your hands up a little bit if you don't have gloves on, so wear some gloves. So we're going to hit the choke on this, and then turn the fuel on, and then turn the machine on, and then pull the cord, and see what happens. Move the choke back afterwards. Alright, that should be it. Let's see if this thing will fire up for me. First start. Wow, started first time. I didn't really give it enough either. Alright, well, the camera stopped right when it turned on. And I was talking to you guys and chipping stuff up and everything, and yeah, I just missed it. But let's see if the second start is as easy as the first start, and we'll chip some stuff up real quick and check out the different kind of size stuff we can chip here. awesome. This is on the bigger side. See if we can get this to go through. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. When you turn it off, it takes a little while to rev down. Just heard some weird noise at the end there. I don't know what that was. But yeah, we can chip up some pretty nice stuff. I mean, anything bigger than what can go in this chipper will be cut up and turned into firewood. And that's the chipping pile, which I only chipped a couple things right there, but I had chipped probably twice as much that at the end of the last video that got cut off, and you don't see much there. It turned a big pile of trees into almost nothing. So I'm actually gonna have to start shooting it straight on the garden, I think, at first, because it's gonna be hard to even rake that up, you know? It's so fine and small. So I'm gonna move this thing over by the garden, and I'm gonna go and drag all the trees that we've taken down over the last 7 weeks now, and chip them up, blow all the chips right on the garden, and get a coat of chips on top of the grass. Oh, potatoes are doing pretty good. They were loving the rain yesterday, and it's supposed to get another couple days of rain, so we're gonna start planting all the squashes and cucumbers and watermelons and everything as it rains over the next couple days. But man, I'm pumped. This Bushmaster is so sweet. It works so good and it starts up so nice. So just gotta make sure I keep lots of oil in it. And every time I use it, I'll take it apart kind of, or at least take the big parts off of it and make sure everything is tightened, because the vibration from a machine like this can kind of loosen things up sometimes. So alright, we got the shredder, the chipper. I'll bring you guys back a little later and show you, what I've accomplished with this thing. I'm gonna start hauling all the branches and trees over here, and I've got the praying over here, the machete, so we can cut them all down, because they pretty much have to be pretty straight to go in there. You can't have a bunch of branches coming off of it, or it won't fit in that 3-inch chute. Sweet. There's a pile started. I'm probably gonna get 2 or 3 more bundles from over by the camp and then start chipping this stuff. Huge pile of branches is gonna add up to almost no chips at all though. So I gotta get a lot of these branches together. Well, I got a little layer on here. And all of the pile isn't gone, but everything I could fit in. I gotta cut all this stuff down to pieces that can fit in. The branches are too thick. I'm gonna drag a couple more piles over here, keep this thing running until I got a nice layer over the whole entire thing. And I got a bunch of stuff with leaves on it too to kind of add some mulchy organic stuff to it. Probably cut a couple more trees down that have leaves on it now. Mix in here. Should make a pretty good top layer on this thing. And just keep putting that on every couple months. Or at least every spring and fall. Beast mode. This thing's a total beast. Alright, well, we got a pretty nice workable layer on top of there right now. I'm going to move the chipper over here and haul over a couple more piles. And we're going to add some chips to that area back there. Some of it's garden right there and the rest of it's just walkway, but we want to cover all that with as much chips as we can. This thing's definitely cranking through the sticks. It has no problem. I mean, even stuff I thought would have been way too big for this, it has no problem. If it fits in that hole, it'll chip it. So it's pretty sweet. Collecting a lot of chips. Should have enough on the property with just the trees we've taken down to cover both these gardens. But it's a lot of work working this thing. You gotta bend over about 100 times. And that's each time you run it, you know? Go get another pile, it's another 100 times you gotta bend over. Doing its job though, and it's little chips. It's pretty small ones, so I mean, I think that's good. Those should break down pretty quick and start adding to the soil and building this soil that we have out here. Man, the wind, you can probably only hear the wind right now. I'm in the cabin. I'm trying to hook up this solar light. I was gonna drill a hole, but there's like a perfect little knot hole right there that this wire fits in perfectly. That foldable ladder is working out pretty good. And I know it looks messy, but this isn't permanent. We just put zip ties up so we can have some light in here at night. Probably gonna get 3 more of those unless I can find something that's better, but I think 3 of those would give me enough light to operate and do stuff in here at night. And they're solar powered and they don't need to be dealt with at all. You just put the panel out on the side of the building and the batteries in it. So I don't know, that's probably what we'll go with. It's not gonna, they're not like super bright, but if you have that and then a lantern, like a desk lantern, you'll be fine in here, a small space like this. I gotta go around with some caulking, like some clear silicone caulking maybe, or maybe even maybe if I can get a wood color, caulking, that's what I need to get. And just seal up everything, because I've already caught 2 hornets, and killed one. And they're gonna just try to be getting in here all the time, you know? It's like kind of open. It's definitely not sealed up like a house would be if someone built you a house. They've left kind of some gaps and some spaces and some knot holes that are open. So I just got to go through and seal all that up so it's really sealed off in here. And then we shouldn't have to worry about as many bugs creeping in on us, especially hornets setting up wasp nests, or wasp or hornets or whatever they are. But we don't want them setting up nests in the eave of the building. Insulation's coming tomorrow or the next day. So is the plywood for the platform, so we'll be moving the canvas tent. But we're going to insulate at least this first half of the building here, put the wall up, and then sheetrock everything. We're going to sheetrock the bottom half, and then put the pine board on the roof. I think that'll just be the most efficient. You know, the pine wood warms up really well in the winter, but it holds heat a lot in the summer, and this cabin's so small I'm not going to have a problem heating it in the winter. So I really need to figure out ways to make it as cool as possible during the summer, including a window up there. I didn't put a window on the bedroom here for like security purposes, but I'm realizing I want a high window that's not easy to get to, that will let light in and that I can get a cross breeze going through the back room here. So I don't know, I'm either going to put that in or I'll hire. There's a local guy who everybody hires, and he's dropped off his card and talked to me a bunch of times. I really don't have any work for him, but maybe I'll ask him to come over and cut this window and put a window in for me real quick. Give him a couple $100. Or I'll just order the window and do it myself, but it's like $70 worth of labor for him to do it, and I don't have any electrical saws, you know, to do plunge cut. So that would be pretty hard to do with the equipment I have. I really need to have a circular saw you can do a plunge cut with, cut the window out. Alright, I'm going to go hang up the solar panel and see if this sucker's working. Cooking some dinner over the open fire. Some poor ants were stuck in that log and are burning. Sucks. I don't know if you can see them flying around, but the smoke in my eye. There's like a whole crap load of dragonflies. One of them like came over and saw the mosquitoes around me, and like 10 plus dragonflies now are like flying back and forth eating the mosquitoes above my head. It's pretty awesome. Helping out too. They've already thinned out the mosquitoes a lot over here. They're awesome. You can get stuff from the state. You can order from the state nymphs, like little baby dragonflies, and you put them in the wetland, and then when spring comes they'll hatch up and you'll have even more. You can buy thousands of them from these from somebody. It's the game wardens or something, or the game service is who you buy them from. And then when they hatch they'll hatch like right when the mosquitoes getting really bad, and then they'll just eat them all up. I think they say like a dragonfly eats 1 million mosquitoes in its lifetime. That's a lot of mosquitoes. Alright, it's day 46 here at the garden. I'm piling up sticks right here. So we're going to put the chipper right there and then fill in that last area back there. Get a good layer in. And if you can see the clouds up above me, it's pretty gloomy out. It's about 12 in the afternoon, and you can see how gloomy it is. So this is the day to harden the plants out. It's going to be pretty gloomy and overcast tomorrow as well. So we won't have to take them in and out of the greenhouse. We can just come and plant them today. They'll get rained in tonight, and then since it's going to be so gloomy the next couple days, they'll have a chance to adapt to the new light, you know, the outside the greenhouse light, and they won't get all wilted and stuff. I mean, if you don't harden a plant, it usually doesn't die. The first couple leaves will just die off and it will look like the plant's dead, but then it will shoot out new leaves that are hardened and that are ready for sunlight. But if you take the plant in and out of the greenhouse for a couple of days during the sunny times of the day, just for a couple hours a day, after like 2 or 3 days of that, it'll be hardened off and you can put it straight outside and you won't have any die off. But if you plant on overcast days like we are going to today, and it's going to be overcast tomorrow, it should have enough time to acclimatize to the situation. But I grab one more bundle of sticks and bring the chipper over here and finish this chipping on this garden before the rain starts. And when the rain starts, we'll start planting. Alright, day 2 of using the chipper. So first thing we did was make sure the oil was at the level it's supposed to be at, and it was. It didn't really go down at all yesterday. And make sure there's fuel in it. Did both of those things, have enough fuel to do what we need to do. I got this set up as close to the garden as I can, try to shoot it in that corner, but I don't want to pull it off onto the garden, so I'm probably gonna have to rake some of it over to where I want it. But we don't want the machine on the garden just in case it like springs a leak or something like that. We don't want, you know, oil and gas and stuff getting in the garden. So I guess it's just time to start this off. it's not really completely level, and it's supposed to be operated on level ground, but nothing's really level out here at all. So I don't think it's any worse than it was yesterday, and it ran fine. So let's see if this starts up on day 2. It's a cold start, so we're gonna pull the choke, make sure the fuel is on, and pull the cord. Should have slid that choke a little slower. Oh, she starts right up on day 2. Put about an hour and a half in yesterday on it. I get to start running material. Oh man, I don't know where I left my gloves. Oh yeah. Little teeny bit of smoke came out of her at the end there. I can kind of smell it a little bit too, so I don't know what that's about. But it's been running good. I put a lot of material through it. I'd say we're about 2/3 of the way through everything we've cut so far on the property. And I probably still have a little bit more cutting to do this summer before this property is freed up to the point where I want it. I got quite a bit of chips back there. Once we rake them all out, we should be able to cover the walkway and the rest of the garden here. So as soon as it starts raining, we're ready to start planting this thing. It's gonna start raining soon, so I was thinking about taking this wood chipper over to a spot, and you're supposed to be able to shoot it into a trash barrel or into a wheelbarrow, but it just shoots so fast and hard that you can't get it to stay in the wheelbarrow. It just knocks everything out. So they make like a skirt that goes on this thing to go over your wheelbarrow, so it can't go anywhere. When it shoots out, it just goes straight into the wheelbarrow. It can't go anywhere. Well, I guess what I'm gonna do is the box that it came in, I already ripped one side open. I think if I put the box that it came in front of it, a little ways in front of it, and keep 3 sides on the box and then have one side open, that this will catch the box will catch all these chips without blowing them all over the place, you know? So that's what I'm gonna do at some point here, and that way I can collect chips by hand and put them where I want to on the other garden, and cover the walking path around the garden on the other side. But I think it's gonna rain pretty soon here, so I'm probably just gonna put this piece of equipment somewhere where it won't get wet. And we'll work on that other project later, chip up more stuff later into the box. My sweet sitting chair came a day early. This is gonna be a chair to hang out in the cabin. And I'm gonna keep these plastic bags so I can keep most of the chair wrapped up in plastic while we're doing construction in here, so it doesn't get all dusty. But put her together, see how comfy it is, and see if it actually holds a guy of my size. I'm 6'3", 250 pounds. But it looks pretty nice. Some pretty decent pleather. Alright, well, I'm gonna put this together. If it starts raining, then I gotta go and run up and put the wood chipper in the greenhouse and probably start planting. I want to start planting while it's raining. But this doesn't look like it's gonna take very long. Well, there she is. Nice little leather chair, sits upright so I can sit at a desk and work on YouTube videos. And has a little ottoman so I can kick back and relax at the end of a day. Pretty cool. not bad. Kind of on the expensive side. It's like $250. Most expensive piece of furniture I own right now. And really the first real piece of furniture I think that I've ever bought. I've bought like couches, I guess, at yard sales and from other people, but I've never actually bought a brand new piece of furniture before that was brand spanking new. Bought a mattress once, but that's about it. So we're gonna have this chair, and then once I get the wall up and all the insulation and everything and get that back room ready right there, we're going to get a full-size bed. So we're gonna order a mattress and a frame, and then eventually I want to put a little dresser here that's like pretty short that you can put like a laptop or a TV on. And there'll be a wall right there. Chair will be here. Desk will be right there where I can see out the window, and the wood stove will be right here, and this space will pretty much be full after that. Pretty sweet. And then the storage up there, that's what we'll be using that for. It's not big enough for someone to even sleep in, since it was only a 4-foot porch and it's only a 10-foot wide cabin. So that's just storage, but it's pretty good storage space. I can store pretty much everything I'm gonna have that's not going to be like part of the decor or lounging area, whatever you want to call it. Alright, well, rain hasn't started yet, but we're gonna go put that machine away now that it's cooled down, and it's overcast enough. I think we can start planting. It's gonna be overcast tomorrow. I don't think we'll have a problem with these plants. They should be good. Make sure I have enough water so I can water some of them in by hand, I guess, as we're planting. But it's gonna rain any minute now, so we shouldn't have to even do that. Alright, well, chair to sit in when we're hanging out down at the cabin now. And like I said, I'll keep that plastic on it while we're doing construction. I have the plastic for this bottom part too, which maybe I'll keep on it as well. Sweet furniture. Alright, it's about to start to rain. We're over here on the wild side of the garden first. I guess I'm gonna go grab some squash, different squashes like zucchini, pumpkin, summer squash, and if there's a butternut that's big enough, I'll put that in here. Butternuts are my favorite, but the pack of seeds I had didn't germinate very well. I'm not sure why. I'm trying to think of where I bought those, but I think I bought them at just some store, maybe Walmart or Home Depot or who knows where. I just picked them up one day. They're not really crazy heirloom ones like the rest of the seeds. So we're just gonna dig holes. I think probably put 3 squash plants in a row and do, I don't know, we can probably do like 6 or 7 rows here. And maybe on this end over here, we'll put some watermelons that can kind of grow into this pathway here. Well, that's what I'm gonna do, get to that, and it started kind of sprinkling here and there. I put the wood chipper away already. Man, the black flies are awful right now though. They're so much bigger than they were. The first couple weeks they were so small. Now they're like at a real mature stage where I think they've got to do something. They've got to get blood so they can go to the river and lay eggs, and if they don't, I think in the next week and a half, it's gonna get so hot that the black flies can't live in it. Or for the most part, I hear that this area has still some lingering black flies all summer. But for the most part, most of them are gonna die off here in the next week or two. Alright, well, we'll pick any grass or weeds out too as we go. But I guess I should go pick out the plants that we're gonna put in here. Oh, it's worth noting that I'm keeping a couple of each kind of plants for the other garden too, so we can spread out our risk, just in case this garden doesn't work well, or if some different plants don't work in this garden, are not doing so well. This garden's kind of sandy right now. It has all that dead wood on the bottom, but that hasn't really broken down yet. And this stuff was kind of sandy. That other garden is that dirt we got from down by the cabin that didn't have any sand in it. It was like all really nice soil. So we're gonna kind of spread everything out, and I wanted to do green beans. Only 2 of my green beans came out of 12. Out of like 16, I think, or 18 plants. Only, yeah, 18 plants I think there was. And only a couple of them came up. We're gonna fill this garden. Alright, planted a bunch of squash in here and putting the remainders in this other garden. This other garden, when I dig the hole, man, it's pretty warm under there. You got the wood chips and then the grass layer and then the dirt. And in between the dirt and the grass layer is pretty warm, and that grass is already breaking down a lot. It's like mushy and really wet. Exactly what we were looking for. I don't know. This garden's still a mystery, but this garden's definitely going to do some good stuff. This thing is set up pretty nice. I like this. So I'm going to plant some pumpkins. Pretty big ones, so we're going to put them off to the edge here. But we're doing a lot of squashes, and then I might go get the corn. I think I'm going to do a row of corn right along the edge here. Kind of make an edge to the garden. And then if the deer want to mess around with something, they'll get at that. Probably if I put it near the fence, then they'll get at that and try and probably not jump the fence, hopefully. A lot of squash, potatoes, and corn. And green beans too, but I have to start more green bean seeds. For some reason my green bean seeds did not come up. Only 2 of them came up out of like, man, a dozen and a half. Alright, gotta plant this. Well, it sucks, but got this thing in the canvas tent with me for the next couple days. Got the plastic on it. Smells a little bit of gas fumes, but I'll just keep the windows open the next couple days while it's stored in here with me while it rains. I need to devise some sort of cover that covers the whole thing, or I got to figure out when I'm going to get a shed here. I do need a shed, but I'm getting limited on funds. And I'm not sure my construction skills are good enough to build a shed, which sounds ridiculous, but we'll see. Once I finish off the inside of the cabin, maybe I'll feel confident enough to build a shed. But I don't know. For $1,000 more than what I can build it for, I can buy one from someone, have it delivered. Same thing with the outhouse. The outhouse is going to be $400 or $500. But if I build it myself, it'll probably be about $200 in wood. So I don't know. I need to just watch some YouTube videos. But I can't have this in the greenhouse because the fumes coming off in the greenhouse is not good for the plants, and we're going to be eating all those plants. So I might be selling some too as organic, so you can't have something like this being stored in the area that you're growing organic plants. Well, it's raining. Got all the things that are big enough to plant out planted, and over the next like week or so, it should we should have a couple more things get big enough for out there. The watermelons really aren't big enough to go out in the garden yet. They're still pretty small. They really need a couple of really warm days in the greenhouse to blow up, and if I put them out when they're going to be cold, they're not going to do well. Oh man, it's like I'm missing a part here. It's supposed to be a wing nut right here. Guess I gotta go check over by where we were running this machine. It must have loosened up with the vibration. See, there's one right here. But there's supposed to be one on both sides. Might have to get a wing nut for that if I can't find it. I'm gonna have to go look. Well, you never could have told me 2 years ago that I would be buying a Coleman Grill. Or a Coleman product, period, pretty much. But I found this little grill, and it was cheap, about 200 bucks. And grills are pretty expensive, plus this one folds up and is easy to move and easy to store. So when I am not at camp, I can hide it somewhere. But yeah, it's pretty nice actually. Has a little latch. Has cast iron grillets, and there's actually a skillet plate I can buy for this thing. So you have like a cast iron skillet instead of just a grill setup. runs off of the small little Coleman cans. And I also have the hose so you can hook it to a big can. But I figured the Coleman cans would be easier to, you know, haul around places. And I was told that the junkies out here have an obsession with propane. So if you leave propane around anywhere, they're going to grab the can. Even if it's empty when they find it, they'll take the can with them just because the can is worth, you know, $7 or whatever. So this seemed like the best choice for up here. And these legs kick out and it turns into a handle with some wheels and you can haul it behind you. So we'll get to using that soon, once it gets too hot to use the wood stove even at night. You know, right now it's still cool enough that I can fire up the wood stove at about 8 o'clock at night and cook a meal and not get too hot in the tent. But soon we're going to be in the cabin and we're not going to be firing that stove up in the cabin until winter. So now we have a grill, so we can start grilling some stuff. I also have to work on my diet. I've been eating too much pasta and rice. And I gotta cut all that stuff out, go to the store and just be eating chicken and broccoli and Brussels sprouts and carrots. And I can grill all that. So having the grill is gonna help with having a better diet for sure. Start cooking on this a lot. All the reviews I read about it said that it's a great grill. Well, morning of day 47. And, well, I guess we're going to have to move down to the cabin today, at least for the next couple days, while I move the tent over to the platform. The mill's going to deliver the rest of the wood for the platform today, and we're going to put it on and then move the tent. But last night, for some reason, the canvas tent got full of these little bugs. There's a lot of mosquitoes getting into the tent lately too, because there's just so many mosquitoes out there. But there's like these little bugs, I think they're chiggers. They kind of look like a flea, but they fly. They don't hop. And they bite like a flea. Like it's like a little teeny bite that they bite. And they're so small, they're like microscopic. But there's like tons of them in the tent right now. I don't know where they came from. But they look like a chigger to me. Once when I was camping in the White Mountains here in Maine, I bumped into some sand fleas or some chiggers. I don't know what they were, but they kind of look like this. So I guess that these are chiggers. I don't know. But they're really annoying. It's kind of like a microscopic flea that can fly. And they get on you, and as soon as they land on you, they bite, like, right away. And, they're pretty annoying. So I think I'm gonna shake everything off and carry the sleeping gear down to the cabin and spend the next couple days there. And I don't know, who knows, might just stay in the cabin. But we're gonna be doing the insulation and the sheetrock in the cabin. I probably don't want to be staying in there when we do that, so at least move down there the next couple nights and then move this tent, and maybe when I move the tent onto the platform, these chiggers won't be in here anymore, because I don't know where they came from, but they probably likely came from the ground. It probably just got warm enough that they all hatched, and they might be just on the ground here. Or maybe they're getting in from outside. They're so small that they can fly right through the screen. They're small enough they can come right through the screen. But, they suck really bad. So I think it's time to shake some of the stuff out and get it down into the cabin, because they won't be in the cabin. And these mosquitoes won't be in the cabin either. But it looks like it's going to be sunny today, so we might have to go water the garden lightly just to make sure it has enough water on it. Time to get up. Well, morning of 47. I'm getting all this stuff packed up and bring the cot and all the sleeping bags and stuff down to the cabin, I guess. So
Wasn't expecting to do it so early or this soon, but I'm moving there eventually. But I don't know. Hopefully we can get this canvas tent up on the platform in the next 2 days, and then we can stay in this for a couple days while we insulate and sheetrock the place, because we don't really want to be staying in there when we do that. It's going to be dusty and fibery. Yeah, so moving down there. Tonight should be the first night in the cabin. Well, after 47 days, getting this tent all packed up, moved to a different spot, spend our first night in the unfinished cabin, spend a couple nights there, and then we'll have this canvas tent all set up on the platform, and we'll move back into the canvas tent. It was time to move camp anyways. The ground here is just so dusty. Everything's getting covered in dust because of me walking back and forth through this spot. You know, all the grass is gone and dead right here. So it's probably a good idea to move camp anyways, and we can get up on that platform, and hopefully these little chiggers that came out the last couple nights, hopefully they're just in this location and they've hatched in this location. Usually that's what happens. They'll hatch a ton of them will hatch at once. So we're probably just in a spot where they were just getting active. Once we get up on the platform, we shouldn't have that many problems. Plus, we'll be able to batten down the sides completely even. We'll put 2x4s along the edge of the canvas tent, and the mosquitoes won't have any way to get in anymore either. Because right now they're just getting in because it's uneven ground, so they follow the CO2 under the tent and get in. So once we get it up on a platform, it'll be much better. It'll be much sturdier. The only thing I'm worried about is I put it in that wind corridor so we would have good wind all the time. So when it's really hot, the tent will be the place to be. You know, it's white, so it doesn't heat up very much and provides shade. It has all the screens on it. But I'm hoping once it's on the platform, it's not gonna like have more problem with the wind, you know? I think if I just stake it out with really long stakes and stake it down really good, it should be fine, you know? The wood stove, we might have to take the chimney off during the summer when we're not using it, because that might blow all over the place in the wind. But I think it'll do good on the platform that we got built over there. Perfect sunsets from that platform. So I'm going to finish wrapping this thing up and go and put the cot in the cabin. Snake sunning himself in the greenhouse. Loving life. We're lucky here in Maine. None of the snakes are dangerous. So they're cool. You can just let them hang out. That guy's been in here for like a couple days now, and he's probably just eating all the bad bugs, and I don't know, he's pretty thick right now. I don't know what they eat. I don't know if they eat mice. I don't think they do. I don't know how they would kill it. I think gardener snakes just eat insects, but I don't know. Maybe they eat mice. I don't know. Whatever they eat, I'm sure it's stuff we don't want in the greenhouse. So just in here, watering things up, and look at this stuff right here. Look at that. That's the salad bowl right there. There's more than a salad bowl full. I had lettuce up until today. So today will be the first salad out of the greenhouse. There's plenty there. Just take all the biggest leaves off of as many as you can and keep doing that in the middle. We should be able to have a little salad every day for the next like 2 weeks, and then at the end I'll just leave a couple of them around the edge of this thing and then let those go to become a full head of lettuce at some point. You know, hollow out the middle completely though, like take everything out of the middle so they have room and a lot of light. The last ones. And these beet leaves are coming along too. They have their first real leaf, but really you want 2 or 3 of these, and they'll get like this big. So there's a good one. It's getting close. Oh man, that's good. You mix these leaves with the gourmet lettuce leaves. Oh man, that's a good salad right there. This kale was getting eaten by some beetles, but I don't see the beetles anymore. So gone with them. Everything is growing, going along. Basil, I gotta put these in cups. 6 different little basil patches. If I put each of those in their own solo cup, they'll just keep growing and getting bigger, and then some of them we'll put in the garden, and then some of them we'll just keep in a container in the greenhouse. See which ones do better. I mean, usually most stuff does better in the greenhouse, but not everything. Oh, the California peppers. These are all the hot peppers I grew out in California. 3 different kinds. Glad we got plants of each of them. And gotta water this stuff and then go bring the cot down to the cabin. Well, everything in the garden looks great after a couple days of rain. Not this grass that's coming up on this hugelkultur bed. I have to start pulling on that later today. But everything is standing up and praying, all looking good, looking to the sun. None of it's wilty or burnt up, or it looks like it didn't adjust right. So planting on the cloudy days was definitely good. It hardened them off just fine, because now it's nice and sunny and they're doing great. The potatoes are starting to blow up too. It's awesome. A couple more days, the watermelon and the rest of the squash will be ready for here. And I have a couple green beans that we're gonna put on the corn, but I'm gonna plant a whole bunch more. And as the corn gets bigger, we're gonna just keep on planting green beans around them. And it's kind of like a 3-sister type garden over there. You have all the squashes covering everything for weeds and for moisture control. And then you have the corn coming up as a stalk for the green beans. Good combo for Maine. Russet potatoes though, man, these things are going good, going hard. And soon they're gonna get big enough that the grass won't be able to grow underneath them too, because they kind of like shadow out everything underneath them. They'll grow faster and higher than that grass can. Alright, keep doing the chores. Well, they didn't come with the wood today. I guess, nah, it's too late. They definitely aren't gonna come now. Well, that probably means I'm not getting until Monday because it's Saturday. The sun is about to go down. Looking epic as usual from the platform. So awesome. But we got more supplies for the cabin. We're spending the first night in the cabin tonight. And we were hoping to get this platform done because we want to finish this platform as quickly as possible so we can get the tent set back up and get back out in the canvas tent. You know, I really don't want to be in the cabin until it's finished and until it cools off. It's too hot. This time of year is the time of the year to be in the tent for sure. So, a couple nights in the cabin, and should have this platform all done and the canvas tent on top of it. The gardening stuff's going pretty good. Nothing died that we planted the other day, so that's always good. And all the watermelons and other different kinds of squashes we have are coming along good in the greenhouse. Probably another week and all those will be ready to go out. Bunch of kale that's ready to go out. I definitely got to put all the kale out tomorrow. And tomorrow morning when I wake up, I got to get up early. Anyways, like I was saying, you have to go down and get water tomorrow morning, a lot of it. Make sure the garden's really good and watered. And on Monday morning I gotta get up really early and I gotta call the mill, and I think I'm gonna order 10 pieces of sheetrock for the inside of the cabin and see if they can bring it with my order. Well, kind of a disaster here. I think it's from the ridge. There's like a open ridge, like a ridge vent going along the roof, but the mosquitoes are getting in somewhere, and not just a couple of them. There's like a lot more. There's no chiggers or anything, in the cabin, but a lot of mosquitoes are getting in a lot. Like every time I go to shut out the light and go to sleep, there's like 10 of them swarming around my head. Luckily, can you even see that? There it is. Luckily, we have the MSR through hiker screen, lightweight screen tent thing, and it fits on the cot pretty well, and I just tied it up to the cedar logs. I'll show you guys in the morning when I wake up, but fuck those mosquitoes, excuse my language, but I won't get through that. I'm gonna go back to bed. Absolute tragedy last night. Look at that huge hole. I went to take a pee in the middle of the night and somehow the zipper got stuck way out there. I don't even know how the zipper got stuck way out there. And I ripped it somehow. Half asleep. So, this is what the setup looked like last night. Bug screen on a cot, but the mosquitoes were just getting in from every single place they could. Millions of them. So I went around this morning and I sealed up all the small cracks with a silicone. And now I'm going to go and seal up all the big cracks around the doors and the windows. And there's a couple places where they put joints in that has a big crack going to the outside. In the morning we can see the light coming through really well. So hopefully if I hit all these spots and seal all these spots up, the only two spots we'll have left are the ridge vents up there, which I have some no-seam net. I'm just going to stuff that whole thing full of no-seam net and hopefully fill that gap that's up there. Because I don't think I want to seal it off completely, because the building I don't think will get rid of moisture properly if I seal that up. But I don't know, if I have to seal that up, I'll seal it up, because I'm not going to deal with the mosquitoes every single night. There were hundreds of them last night, and they were driving me crazy. I mean, once I was in the tent, it was fine, but I can't believe I ripped my damn through hiking bug tent. Like, that's like a $200 piece of equipment. I've had it for like 6 years. Can't believe I ripped it last night. So I have to get out the sewing kit and sew that up. I'll be able to sew it up, but it's just going to look like shit now. Alright, well, I'm going to finish sealing everything up. Bust out this can of foam and do around the windows. I can see around the door there's a bunch of gaps. Huge ones that probably were letting mosquitoes in. So hopefully I'll get most of this done right now and get the no-seam on the ridge vents, and then hopefully tonight we won't have any mosquitoes in here. We'll see. Well, this repair is about done. What a disaster that was. Man. Pulled on it too hard with the zipper caught up in it. I didn't even realize the zipper was caught. Yeah, but it was. It's caught good. Well, hopefully when this thing's all stretched out, it's supposed to be a 2-person cover. This is the MSR through hiker 2-person. And it looks thin right now because it's on the cot and it's not all stretched out. But when it's all stretched out, that fits 2 people pretty easily. And for 3 seasons, this is the best setup, because if I have this and my tarp, I can do a lot of different setups and I'm protected from the bugs, and both of those items together weigh 2 pounds. So, I mean, there's some tents out there, really expensive ones now that you can get that are pretty good, I think, for 2 pounds. But this has a lot of space in it. Like, I can fit all of my stuff in it, and I've stayed in that with another person for a lot of nights, and it's comfortable. And as you can see, it's handy. You can use it in all kinds of different places. If you're in the jungle, you're going to want one of these too. You know, you build a little cot or a hammock, and you can just put this over you. And it works pretty good. I haven't tried it over a hammock. I'm not sure how well that would work, but the zipper over here is in a pretty good spot for that, but there is no hole over here. So I don't know, you'd have to make a hole for your strap if you wanted to use it with your hammock. Maybe make a hole and put Velcro on it so when you're not using it with your hammock, you can put the Velcro shut. Thing worked good last night though. Kept me away from the bugs. They were driving me crazy when I first went to bed. I couldn't take it. They were just going crazy around me. At least 30 or 40 of them around my head at all times. So you can't sleep like that. I'm glad I had this. Would have been a bummer if I didn't. Oh yeah, and today, day 48, Sunday, is Father's Day today. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, including my own. Hope you're having a good one, Dad. Well, I ran out of sealant, and I'm short. I need like 2 more cans of that expandable foam and 1 more tube of silicone, and then this thing will be all tightened up. So I'll probably have to go back to town, which sucks because I went there yesterday. I wasn't planning on going back for like 4 or 5 days. But I'm probably going to have to go to town because I really need to get all this stuff so I can finish sealing this off, because they're going to bring the insulation, I don't know, today or tomorrow. It's Father's Day, so probably not today. And then we're going to get the sheetrock, and we're going to do the whole first part of this building and the first half of the roof, and maybe the whole thing. But we got to see if I got enough supplies. I don't know if I got enough supplies because I'm not really good at calculating the square footage here that I need. So anyways, gotta go check on the garden here pretty quick. I can hear something rustling in the bush. I'm not sure what it is. Probably just a bird of some kind. Well, everything is growing. It rained last night for a little while, about an hour, so everything has water. Maybe later in the afternoon I'll have to put a little more on it. The corn has almost doubled in the day and a half it's been out here, so I must be doing fine over there. These squashes are all putting on new leaves. Looking good. Pretty psyched. Also, all the bramble bushes and raspberries and blackberries or whatever they are, all of them are putting on flowers right now. Man, they're putting on a lot of them. So hopefully there's bees and stuff out here to pollinate that. We should have a lot of berries coming off this property. Blueberries, strawberry, but the locals said that it's a bunch berry, but I don't think it's a bunch berry. I think it's a wild strawberry. And tons of brambles, different kinds of brambles, so we'll see what the brambles end up producing. Look at these potatoes though. They are taking over. Should be a lot of potatoes in there. There was 5 pounds we started off with, and I kept 2 potatoes to the side to maybe do a container thing, but they're probably dying in that bag in there. So it's 2 potatoes short of 5 pounds, so let's see what we get out of it. Hopefully we get like 30 or 40 pounds and tons of squash. Alright, we're at the salad bowl mix here. We're going to start clipping this, so all the biggest leaves. Look at each plant and just cut off the biggest leaves. I have a pair of scissors I'm going to do it with. So all these really chunky ones. There you go. Looks beautiful. And hopefully there's nothing left behind from when we were using that beaver water, but that was a long time ago. And it's been really sunny in here and everything, so that should have killed anything that was going on it. Might be a couple beet leaves we can take too, but those are still pretty small. And we're going to start a whole tray. One of these whole trays we're going to fill with this mix right here. And do another flat of that. Stage them behind these. And hopefully I can continue eating lettuce from the greenhouse until I have heads of lettuce done out in the garden. Alright, pretty much a full salad bowl. Took a couple things from there. Thin this out quite a bit, but we'll water it and tomorrow it'll perk all up and should be another salad in there. And then we might have to wait a day and a half and then there should be another salad in there. Just picking a little bit out, and the salad will get smaller sometimes, you know. Sometimes when you gotta let it grow back for a couple days, you only be able to have a small salad. But once I get 3 or 4 flats like this going, I should be able to keep salad going in here. But once it gets too hot, it's really hard to germinate salad leaves, lettuce leaves, lettuce seeds, I mean. So we'll see what happens, but maybe if I germinate them in here, they'll still germinate, you know, if I use one of those domes and everything. I'm gonna go eat the salad. First salad out the greenhouse, 2019. First bit of produce, actually. Awesome. There it is. Perfect first salad. Little feta cheese, some croutons, some sesame, sunflower seeds, and Caesar dressing. Delicious. Well, end of day 48, end of Father's Day. I didn't get a video of the truck coming in, but the guys at the mill actually were delivering on Sunday today. So we got the stuff for the platform, so hopefully we can screw that in tomorrow morning and then move the tent over to the platform and then move back into the tent until we're done finishing the inside of the cabin, because I don't want to be hanging insulation and all that stuff over my sleeping space. So get that done and then get sheetrock done and then move in. Should be a lot better then. And he did tell me that the ridge vent in my cabin should have had something called a cobra something, I don't know, but he said it's like a spongy thing that looks kind of like a Brillo pad, and he said that that's supposed to be in the whole eave of the cabin, and they just put a little piece in the front of the eave. They didn't do it right, obviously. So I'm gonna have him bring some of that too next time he comes up, and I'm gonna lace that whole thing with that cobra stripping or whatever it's called. Well, that sound wasn't good. Better go check to see what that was. Sounded like something just fell off the fire. Hopefully it's nothing important, probably just my silverware. Alright, well, having a campfire. End of Sunday. And this is the end of episode 7. So we didn't get much done. Actually, this would be the end of episode 7, but we're gonna get the platform all set up tomorrow. And then that's the end of, that'll be the end of episode 7. And that'll be the end of season 1 of the 100-acre plantation, because summer starts in less than a week. And we'll start season 2, and season 2 will mostly be just gardening, and eventually we're going to build a couple tree stands for hunting, and we're going to do this spring, or this well. I'm actually going to dig a pilot hole tomorrow. Oh man, that mosquito got me good. It's full of blood. I'm going to do a pilot hole tomorrow and see if I hit water down by the cabin, and if I do, then I'll get the stuff to clean out the hole the proper way and the PVC piping so I can put it in, because I got a pitcher pump already, so I just need to get the piping to pipe it all in. And we got to dig the hole, put the pipe in, and then get it all done. But probably get that done on episode 1 of season 2. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get all the latest uploads. Uncle Dave from DEECEE's Adventures, out at the 100-acre plantation. End of Father's Days, end of week 7. 7 weeks already. 7 full weeks completely gone by, going into week 8. Crazy. Oh yeah, and all the berries have little green berries started, so blueberries, raspberries, all the berries, they're on their way. And then there's that little spruce. Look at that guy. Oh man. Such a good little sprucey. Alright, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow when we whip this platform together, and then we'll move this thing over to it. So I think I got my days all screwed up on here. I'm not sure what I told you it was yesterday, but today is day 50. Day 50, it's Monday. Should be the beginning of episode 8. So
Here we are. We're back in the canvas tent. We're warming up water one last time at this camp location at Camp 1. And we're getting it all ready so I can take a shower in here with no mosquitoes attacking me. The canvas tent is like a sanctuary place, although there are mosquitoes in it right now. So I left the door open for a little while earlier and they all got in, but we're going to kill a lot of these mosquitoes and keep the door closed, and this is going to be a good place to take a shower. I haven't taken a shower in probably too long, probably way too long, but it's been like 5 or 6 days, maybe even 7, I don't know. Can't remember what day I took my last shower on. It was that long though, that long ago, I can't remember. So I got to take a shower and get all cleaned up, and I'm getting pretty close to retiring this shirt. I want to get the construction done on the building and dig these wells, and then after that I got to retire this shirt to the trash. I wore this all year working last year too, all summer, and I don't wear it that much because I was in California. It was really hot, and I would only wear it when it was so hot that the sun was too strong. But a lot of the times I just wore a white t-shirt, so this was only on me like sometimes, a couple hours a day maybe, during the hottest, most intense times of the day that I was going to be outside in the sun. But it's all ripping off my body now. Like, after spending 50 days in it, it's not doing good. I've ripped it in a bunch of places carrying wood, and it's just so dirty, especially from putting some mosquito repellent on it. Sometimes I'll put some mosquito repellent, it makes it look all greasy and all messed up, and the dirt gets on that greasy spot. So this shirt is gross. But I got to take a shower tonight, and then after we take a shower, the stove should be all cooled down by then. We're going to let the water cool down and the stove cool down while we're building the platform, and then come back in here, take the stove out of here, take the shower, take the stove out of here, and take everything out of here and break this thing down and move it over to the platform. I don't know how hard it is going to be getting this set up on the platform. I don't know if I ever set the tent up by myself on the platform. I'm trying to think of how many times I set it up on that platform at the survival property. Only a couple times. Maybe I did once by myself, but I think I actually only broke it down by myself. I think both times I set it up, someone was there with me. So I don't know how hard that's going to be for one person to get these poles in the right place on the platform and then get it lifted up onto the platform. It's probably not going to be easy. But that's the plan tonight, and then hopefully move back into the tent, and then I can finish construction on the interior of the cabin. I just want to get some walls up with insulation in them so we can cool that building, or keep it cool, you know, because it's getting way hot with no insulation. A building like that with a metal roof is just scorching hot all day. So that's what we got going on today. So hopefully I can get it all done. I mean, I want to get it done and get the platform, get the canvas tent on the platform, because we don't want it to rain on that plywood that we're using for the decking on the platform. We don't want it to get wet. So yeah, I'll let you know how the progress goes. Alright, well, here's what the platform looks like right now, and there's the first piece of decking. They're heavy bastards, so I got 6 of those, or 5 more of those to haul up. And then we're gonna screw those down. And once we get those screwed down, put this decking here. Has a little 2-foot porch on the front to stand on and watch the sunset. And then bring the canvas tent over here. Gonna be great. Canvas tent on a platform, finally. Hopefully today. I'm working on the platform here. I don't know if you can see him flying around. It's right there. No, I can't catch him. Oh, there he goes. It's a dragonfly. And I don't know, I haven't seen one eat mosquitoes this fast, but he's just completely surrounded me. I was surrounded by mosquitoes. They were absolutely killing me. And this guy just came
and flew around me and ate every mosquito. He must have just eaten 20 or 30 mosquitoes right now. I mean, he's still going around me getting the last couple that are here, but there was a whole swarm and now there's like none around me. So that was pretty epic. These dragonflies are the jam. They just eat so many of these mosquitoes. I say 1 million mosquitoes in their lifetime for each dragonfly. I don't know if that's true, but he just ate all those mosquitoes around me. It's epic. Oh, stand right in the way. Oh, there she is. The platform. It's 10 feet 8 inches wide on the actual platform, and then I left the ends on these 12-foot boards to give the porch a little more area, and that way you can kind of stand on that corner and adjust the chimney, because it's going to be hard getting to the chimney once this thing's on the platform. Though this is the summer spot, so during the winter it's going to be at Camp 1 where we were set up originally, because it's blocked from the wind. This spot gets wind all day long, so during the summer this is where we want to be, is keep it cool. And during the summer we're not even going to have the stove in the tent. We're going to have some sort of outdoor kitchen set up here that has a gas grill at it and the wood stove, so we can use the flat top of the wood stove for cooking. And it's probably also eventually going to have a pizza oven. It's all going to be right here next to the tent here, and that'll be the summer setup. So now that this is all done, I got to go see if that water is cool enough for me to take a shower, and I'm going to take a shower, and then either tonight I'm going to move the tent over. It says it's not going to rain tonight though, so the platform's probably okay for tonight. You know, you really don't want to get that plywood wet if you can help it. And yeah, I'm going to take a shower, and then maybe I'll move it over, or maybe I'll move it over in the morning. I don't know, I'll have to see. But platform finished. And the garden over there is blowing up. Everything's doing great. Got the Coleman Grill fired up for the first time. This thing's pretty sweet. Pretty much operates just like a normal sized grill would. Even has cast iron grates in there, which is pretty sweet. Runs off of the cans, plus I have a hose to run off of regular big cans. Pretty sweet. Well, it's getting late. I took a shower, and after I took a shower, I decided not to try to break down that canvas tent. Tomorrow morning is going to be a better time. It was really windy too, which it's already going to be difficult setting that thing up by myself, so I didn't want to do it in the wind. But the wind seems to have died down for the most part now. It usually does in the evening. I'm going to get some dinner, and tomorrow I got to wake up early, go to town, get some more insulation spray for around the windows, and a little bit more silicone just to do the cracks where the boards meet up in a couple places. And then when I get back from that, I will put the canvas tent on the platform and move everything over there, move back into the canvas tent. Oh, only 6 more days left for spring, and then summer is here. So pretty exciting. Things going pretty well though. Loving life out here. See, this thing has the skillet here. It covers the flames. And then around here is like a moat of water. So all the grease can only go in these 2 directions, and when it falls off, it falls into the water. So when you're done, you take this off while the water's still warm but not hot, and just pour it off, and then wipe it out with a paper towel. And then you can pack this thing up and travel with it without getting grease and stuff all over everything. Pretty cool. I like it. I'm probably only going to cook on this side, and on this side I'll keep vegetables and stuff in aluminum foil most of the time. Try the frying pan on here too sometime this week and see how that works. 2 little red squirrels doing something over there. I'm not sure what. Either fighting or I don't know what. Oh, shaky camera. Crazy little squirrels. Alright, morning of day 51.
Went to town today. It's already 11 o'clock. Actually, it's already noon right now. Picked up this waterproof. Has a little tint in it. Should help protect this from UV rays and from water. You really don't want to get that plywood wet. So I gotta put that on as quickly as possible, and then it has a 2-hour dry time, and while that's drying, we're gonna break down the canvas tent and get it set up here. It's gonna rain tomorrow, so I have to get this done before dark tonight. Hopefully I can do it by myself. If I run into a problem and don't think I can, there's a neighbor down the road, and I think I could call him and have him come up and help me. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to lift the one side up onto the poles once it's up on the platform. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try to get it all the way to that point, and then if I can't do it, then I'm going to drive down the road to the guy who lives down the road and see if I can get his help. I'll give him a couple bucks or something to come and help me out. He's a younger guy. He lives with the older man who runs the town, but he's the guy's grandson, and he's I don't know, he's got to be somewhere in his 20s, so he definitely could help if I need it. So I'm gonna get this going, get this stain and waterproof on this thing, and we're gonna try to always have this covered with the canvas tent, but sometimes it's not gonna be. During the winter, when we take it down off of this, we're probably gonna cover this with a tarp or with some sort of plastic for the winter, and that way we can keep the snow off of it. I don't know, we'll figure that out when it comes, but this Thompson seal was on sale for $16, and that whole kit was $4. So for 20 bucks, hopefully we'll be able to waterproof this enough that, you know, when the tent isn't on here, this board won't get destroyed. We want this decking to last at least 2 years, and then we'll see if that decking's not working out, we'll put pressure treated wood like we do here. You know, that's what we did on the other platform, but the air can come up in the winter and the bugs can get up through this sometimes. So the guys who live in the North Woods, a lot of them recommended that you put a platform with plywood down, but once you have that down, you usually have to keep the tent on it always, because the plywood can't take the weather. So I'm gonna get this going and then break down the tent, and hopefully when I bring you guys back in 3 or 4 hours, the tent is set up here, but I can't guarantee that. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna try. All right, well, there it is. That section's still pretty wet, but it didn't go in completely even on this, but it's made for boards and I suck at this, so it looks pretty good though, actually. And I only put one layer on the porch. It said you only need one layer, but it said if you wanted more even color, you do a second layer. So I did a second layer on that part, and that's the part we need the most waterproofing on, the plywood. So there's 2 layers on it. It's pretty even. I mean, if I went over it one more time with the roller, it would probably even out really nice. But that's pretty much all the paint that was in that can. There's a little bit left, but I have a couple pieces of furniture that I want to hit with it real quick. So that should do. Should be pretty good. I mean, it's not for vanity. We did this because we wanted it to be waterproof, and that's why I bought that. That was $10 off of its normal price. Probably because the color is kind of weird. Kind of looks almost pinkish a little bit, but that's probably why it was on sale. But for $10 off, I don't really care about the color. I just want protection on this thing. I don't know, maybe later, if there's some left after I hit the furniture, I'll do another layer on the porch. But the porch is pressure treated wood, so it probably doesn't even need it. I like the color that the porch came out with that green behind it. It looks really cool, but you know, that raw wood with it on it, I don't know, it's not the best color in the world, but it doesn't matter. That's just the floor. We just need it to be waterproof. So spend the next couple hours breaking down the canvas tent and bringing it over here. Wish me luck on that one. That's a cool looking bug. don't know if some kind of ladybug, but it's sweet. The pattern on it's awesome. Collecting all the steaks. Alright, there are the steaks. Actually, there's 4 in the corner I have to go grab, but look at those steaks. Some of those are pretty long. Those are the kind of steaks you need if it's going to be windy to keep your tent down. But if you have something like that, they're hard to even get out the ground. Never mind the wind. It took all I could to get them out the ground myself. I had to wiggle them back and forth to loosen them up. But now we take the fly off, and then the canvas tent itself, and then the frame, and then set it up opposite of that. Alright, the main part of the frame is on it. There's the fly waiting, all the steaks waiting. But what we're going to do is go grab the hammer and nails, and we're going to square this thing off the way we want it. And I don't know, we're probably going to put a couple nails on the 4 corners, you know, so when the pipe sits down, the nail sticks up. So once it's strapped down, it'd have to be lifted up by the wind quite a bit before it would get pushed off the platform. You know, the nail acts like as a spike for the pole to sit on. So I think that's what we're going to do for now. And we might even put screw some S hooks into the floor on the 4 corners, and then loop a ratchet strap and ratchet it, and it will hold this thing to the platform really tight. The frame won't leave the platform, because that's what we don't want. We don't want it leaving the platform, because even if it's strapped down really good, if it leaves the platform, it's gonna fall and everything's gonna be a disaster. So we're gonna do a bunch of things to make sure that it doesn't ever leave the platform. And there's a couple feet on each side, but in the back it's only like 2 inches. So for the hard part, I gotta get the top on this and get it standing up. It's not gonna be easy with one person. Well, that's what 47 days of wear looks like. You can see the path where I walk in and out every day. It'll grow back. Like 2 weeks, this will be all grown back. I won't even be able to tell this. All these bunch berries / strawberries, whatever they are, we'll find out when they start fruiting. There's tons of them over here, but it's also surrounded by poison ivy. There's a lot of poison ivy over there. Poison ivy has a nice little yellow flower right now. Jewelweed's up, though. There's jewelweed down at the meadow and on the road. So if you get poison ivy, just wash up with that and that'll help. Alright, sweating my unit off here, but it's on the platform. So it's just gotta stake it all around, put the fly on and stake that all around. I'm gonna be golden. I'm also gonna put like nails or loops, probably nails bent over to hold the where you would put stakes in the ground along the edge. Pin it to the platform. Oh, she's all strung up. I'm gonna put this fly on right now. She looks like a real beauty up there. Canvas tent all set up on the platform. Garden blowing up in the background. Looking good. And about 1 million mosquitoes around me. I like it though. Looking good. Oh, there she is. Well, Camp 1, until next time. How to come in here with a whippersnipper and cut down all that long grass and make sure there's no trash down there, and build a platform here eventually. Camp 1 needs to get spruced up. Still a beautiful sight. Got batteries charging on the solar power. Just hauled 20 gallons, 2 trips of water up here from the well spot, and everything is watered in pretty darn good. Garden's looking pretty great actually, but I figured that. I don't have a problem with gardening. It's the construction work that I'm not good at.
I just can't make anything plum for some reason. I can grow a plum, but I can't make anything plum. So gardening is what I've done though for the last 15 years. That's been the mainstay of my income and of my living, you know. During the summer, I usually grow all my own vegetables and lettuce and stuff like that. It's been like 3 or 4 years I've been doing that. And I've just always been gardening ever since I was a kid. So I'm pretty good at gardening. And a lot of my education was in gardening. So yeah, I know how to raise plants. That's not a problem. But when it comes to construction, I definitely am not a good builder. I wish I had a buddy that lived up here that knew more about construction. I also just don't have the right tools. If I had a skill saw and basically some bench tools, I'd be able to get straight cuts all the time. You know, I'm cutting by hand, and since I haven't done it for a long time, I'm not really skilled at cutting by hand. I'm just not able to get the really perfect straight cuts that you need. But later today, I'm going to start working on that interior wall, and we're going to use a miter box. So hopefully that miter box straightens out all these cuts and this wall comes out straight and plumb and sturdy. But man, these potatoes are blowing up. They're doing great. They're loving the hugelkultur. The squash is loving the hugelkultur too, but if you can see the difference, those are a lot darker in color. These ones are kind of light. So this hugelkultur bed, this first year, it might not have enough nutrients in there for the squash. The potatoes are loving it. But potatoes don't need as much, and they like sandier soil. You know, squash doesn't really like sandy soil that much, and it's kind of sandy under there. That bed's perfect, it's doing great. That's some potash I put on there. But it's gonna rain tomorrow, and tomorrow when it's raining, we're gonna plant the rest of this with more squash and a pumpkin plant that I have that's getting huge, a bunch of watermelon, and then over here on the edge, front edge, we're gonna put some kale. And oh yeah, and then we have green beans that we're gonna plant next to the corn. Now that the corn's big, we wanted the corn to be 3 times the size of the green beans, so that way it's growing ahead of the green beans, and the green beans will hopefully climb up them. So that's pretty good, but you know, we were trying to do this all natural and all wild, but I might have to add some sort of fertilizer to those squash back there. I'll find something natural and organic, but I probably won't be able to find something on the property unless I can find a place where the rabbits are taking a dump every day. But the rabbits kind of poop as they go, so you really only find a nugget at a time. But we're probably gonna have to fertilize that stuff in the back. I can already see it's a little yellow. It's not like it's hurting or anything, but it's not gonna grow very fast if it's not getting enough nutrients. All right, well, it's day 52 out here, and I'm gonna get moved in to the tent today and free up the cabin so we can finish the interior of the cabin. And then that's going to be pretty much it for season 1. It'll be officially over, and summer will be starting in like less than a week, half of a week. Summer will be starting, so I'll do an outro here for the end of this episode once we get the cotton stuff up in the canvas tent. Look at this guy. Oh, can't see him through the screen. What a weirdo. He was like jumping all over the trash bags. Those are all recycling. Got fleas though. I gotta get him away from camp so he doesn't bring fleas into camp. Well, got the wood chipper out. A bunch of piles spread around the property. I'm gonna try to catch the chips in the box. So we'll see how that goes. If it doesn't go well, then we're gonna just drag all this debris to the garden and do it at the garden like we were, but there's a lot of debris. Some of these piles are huge, so it would be easier if I could just bring the wood chipper over. So we'll see how it goes. goes well, maybe I'll set you guys up on the tripod so you can get a look at it. But it just blows so hard that I don't even know if I can keep that box sitting there long enough to get wood chips in it. We'll see. Well, 30 minutes of chipping and that pile's gone and in the box. It blew over all over a little bit, but not that bad. We got most of it in the box. So, works a lot better than the wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow is impossible to keep the chips in. But I'm gonna go grab the wheelbarrow now and the pitchfork and put all those in the wheelbarrow and bring them over to the garden. Nice, more than a whole wheelbarrow full. So that'll get us some coverage. We gotta lay that down on one of the paths. They lay a thin layer on the hugelkultur bed too, but right now we're gonna get the path around it covered and let these chips start breaking down on the path as we walk around. Ooh, eating like a king. Broccoli, beef, and feta cheese. Not bad. Well, looks like the waterproofing worked on this thing. Getting moved back into the canvas tent this morning. Gonna get all moved over here so I can do the insulation and the sheetrock in the cabin over the next couple days. Look at this little guy. Snakes are really pretty up here. It's got a slug on his back though. I don't know if snakes eat slugs. I wonder if he knows it's even there. Pretty little snake though. Well, just finished building this interior wall. So this will be like the little bedroom. And then this will be the living space. I'll have like a stove and a desk. Got all the insulation up except for that front section. I was short, so when they bring the sheetrock, they're gonna deliver a little more insulation. Gotta get that bed open though. I ordered my bed for this place thinking that it could just sit in the box until I was done. But this memory foam thing says it's supposed to be opened within 72 hours of receiving. So that sucks. But I'm looking forward to getting this sheetrock. As soon as I get this room sheetrocked, I'll open the bed up and let it decompress. So things are coming along, just working on the cabin these last couple days. Want to get this squared away before I get to going on any of the other projects. I want to do an outdoor kitchen, and I got to build the outhouse here pretty quick here, so I'm not taking a dump over a hole every day. Alright, well, good morning. Today is the last morning of spring. The garden's going pretty well. Rained the last couple days, so the mosquitoes are really thick. But this is the end of episode 7, which is probably pretty long, almost as long as episode 1, and the end of season 1. So hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys comment in the bottom and tell me if you like doing these videos day by day like this, or if I should just do videos that are like certain building projects and certain things, you know? The daily vlog gets old when you're out here for like, you know, it's been just shy of 60 days. Well, I guess that's it. The mosquitoes are killing me, and I'm all dressed to go to town. Gonna go and do some laundry and get some groceries. I'm glad the garden's doing so well, though. So that's it for season 7. I'll see you guys in the summer. Summer starts tomorrow. I'll see you guys on season 2 of the 100-acre plantation off-grid living project.